This is Shannon Kringen, Goddess Kring in Seattle, and I'm sitting here with the puppy on my lap. Here's a collage of selfies that's on one of my older cell phones that doesn't work anymore, but I kept it because of the art. This is a dynamic collage of the many facets of me and my abstract art on this phone. So I'm going to sit here and just talk about synchronicity, and I want to show you. There's the dog on my lap. So I'm taking care of this puppy for somebody. So I'm going to sit still because the puppy, I just took her for a walk, and now we're going to sit and I'm going to do a monologue about, because I'm multitasking, about synchronicity. And I'm going to really try to focus my energy and focus my topic in this video because I have a tendency to want to go off on a lot of tangents and connect the dots in different ways. And people think I'm off topic, but to me, the dots all connect. I'm wearing my Tom Petty button and my Tom Petty t-shirt. This is a uh, Tom Petty is a musician that symbolizes to me follow your heart, follow your dreams, stay true to yourself. So it's about being authentic, not about worshiping a specific rock star, famous person. It's about what he represents to me is anybody that you could admire could represent somebody who is doing what they love and following their dreams and their heart and their soul and their mind. So I was thinking about synchronicity. I wanted to tell stories. I've had three different, actually more than that. I had a trip in Mexico once where I met this guy on a bus that was from Australia, and that was also interesting synchronicity. But I think I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about three interesting events that happened in my life involving synchronicity when things just kind of overlap. And I find it intriguing when I notice the patterns. I mean, everybody, the whole universe is connected, the ecosystem, it's all connected. But I just want to give examples of my own personal life as an individual human. Recently, I went to the Pete Droge concert at the Triple Door in Seattle, and he is a musician that I know about because he opened for Tom Petty in the 1990s, but he lives on Vashon Island, which is, I don't know where he's from originally. I know that he was in Portland for a while, but I saw him live perform on Vashon Island a few months ago, but recently at the Triple Door. And my friend and I, okay, how do I explain this? How do I explain to you the synchronicity? I work as an art model and I used to do a public access TV show. So the synchronicity at the Pete Droge concert involves, I hope yeah, it's recording. Okay. My friend and I parked in this parking garage that's free in the South Lake Union neighborhood of Seattle for the Triple Door Pete Droge concert. We parked there for free. And when we walked past Gage Academy of Fine Art is one of the art schools where I model, and I've been modeling since 1992, which is literally 34 years. I don't know if it's because I'm on the autism spectrum or what, but I'm always wanting to tell people the dates, like 1992, 32 years. I'm doing the math on that all the time. Like some people think it doesn't matter, but I always like to say the dates of things if I can remember them, because sometimes I'm fuzzy and don't remember the chronological order of things. Because I'm autistic, ADHD, and dyslexic in certain capacities, although I'm very intelligent. But okay, we parked for free. We walked past the Gage Academy of Fine Art on our way to the Pete Droge concert. And I said to my friend, I model here sometimes. They just moved here in this nice new location. And that's why I knew about the free parking garage nearby. And then we went to the Pete Droge concert and we saw Nancy Guppy, who used to be on the comedy show Almost Live. And they sent me a postcard way back. I had my public access TV show Goddess Kring on Seattle Public Access from 1996 to 2011 for 15 years every week. I did a 28, I produced and directed and starred in and created it all by myself in my apartment for 15 years. And because I was too shy to do it around anybody else, and so I did it myself. And so they sent me a postcard. The Almost Live cast once sent me a postcard, and every cast member, John Keister and Matt Smith and Nancy Guppy, and I forgive me, I forgot the names of the other cast members. They signed it saying we wish we could do our show nude because I was known for dancing around in body paint and speaking off the top of my head, doing improvisational monologues and poems that I wrote on my show, Goddess Kring. And I was known for that. And so they sent me a postcard saying, we wish we could do our show nude. And I thought, well, that's cool that they even know about me because I think people used to channel surf and see my Goddess Kring show and go, what the heck is this? And I don't know how many people actually saw the show. Some people saw the show and liked to watch it because they didn't know what I was going to do next week. But some people didn't even ever see the show. They just heard about it from other people who talked about it. So I have no idea if the Almost Live people actually watched my show or they just heard about it and they just thought they would send me a postcard. Uh, so I walked past Gage, Academy of Fine Art with my friend because of our free parking. Then we went to the Pete Droge concert and Nancy Guppy was sitting right next to us. I mean, not right next to us, but Nancy Guppy was in the table next to us. And I kept thinking, is that Nancy Guppy or does it just look like Nancy Guppy? I thought that's Nancy Guppy. Okay. Because I know that she interviewed Pete Droge and Elaine Summers for her show Art Zones. So basically, it wasn't a surprise that she was there, but it was interesting that she was sitting right near us. And then later on that night, I said to my friend, yes, Nancy Guppy used to be on Almost Live, and they didn't know that. And she has a newer show that's on now called Art Zones with Nancy Guppy that's on the Seattle channel. And I thought, God, it would be nice if I could be interviewed for her show sometime about my multimedia artwork. And so we looked up Nancy Guppy's show, and sure enough, I was on the episode 3 weeks ago. There was an episode where Gage, Academy of Fine Art, hired me to model for their grand opening in a dress because it was open for the public. So I wasn't figure modeling. I was wearing a costume, which is a dress. So they filmed me. So to make a long story short, we walked past Gage, and then we went to the Pete Droge concert, and then we saw Nancy Guppy, and then we came home and we looked up Nancy Guppy's Art Zone show, and then I was in the episode, the most recent episode I was on. So it was cool that the music, my public access show, my art modeling, and the music that we all love by Pete Droge all connected, and which connects with Tom Petty because I only know about him because he opened for Tom Petty. I think that some others, he also worked with Neil Young, and he's currently working with Mike McCready. Is that his name from Pearl Jam? Forgive me, I don't if I said that name wrong, but he's working with Mike McCready from Pearl Jam on music right now, and he lives on Vashon Island. And I think a lot of people in Seattle know about Pete Droge because he lives on Vashon, and he's kind of local because I guess he's lived there since the '90s. But I only really know about Pete Droge because he opened for Tom Petty, and then I started following his music after that because I love folk rock, Roger McGuinn, Americana, folk, blues, country, rock, very down to earth, very soothing. Pete Droge's music is very beautiful and very soothing, and he makes his full living doing music from Vashon Island, where he has his own studio and his own music publishing company. I don't know what you call that, but he's a very smart guy. So very nice person. And I mailed him my poetry book, Kringonian Pizzazz, and I mailed him my music CD, KringFlowers or KringFlower, Goddess Kring, produced by Superflower Interactive Jack Records, Seattle. So that's just a little tidbit of that. But the fact that my public access TV show intersected with my love for music, which intersected with my art modeling, which intersected with Nancy Guppy being there. So I just thought that was an interesting pattern of synchronicity and how everything is connected. So that happened in 2024. What happened a few years ago, was I was volunteering at Woodland Park Zoo for a music concert, and somebody in the audience is an artist who has drawn me as a figure model. And he went, "Oh, hi, I didn't know you were here, Shannon. How is the figure modeling going?" And so I was volunteering at the zoo, and a figure drawing person that knows me talked to me. And then he ended up having me come and pet sit for him. So then my pet sitting, my art modeling, and my zoo volunteering intersected in that way. I mean, I guess this is how the universe works, but when it happens, I believe in appreciating the synchronicity. Because remember, sometimes things in life don't work out. Like sometimes you have like Murphy's Law, where there's a series of negative events that happen. Like you have all kinds of negative, I don't even want to talk about it, but things go wrong and then another thing goes wrong and then it like snowballs into something else going wrong and you know involving lots of negative problem type things. What I'm talking about right now is when a pattern works in a positive way, when there's a synergy between my volunteering at the zoo, art modeling, my public access TV show, Goddess Kring, my multimedia art, and my music and art, my figure modeling, my pet sitting, my public access TV show, a Tom Petty, all of that. So the guy that had me pet sit for him loves music, and we both love the zoo. So zoo volunteering, music, art modeling, and pet sitting all intersected in a positive way that created an opportunity for me. And he knew that he could trust me to take care of his pets because he knew me for like probably 20 years as an art model. So sometimes people want to have people pet sit for them that they know that's a friend of a friend or referred to them instead of just hiring a random person that takes care of animals that they don't know in a more businessy kind of way. So that's another synchronicity that happened. The third synchronicity that I wanted to talk about happened in 2005 in San Diego, California, where I was born and I grew up. I grew up in San Diego from about age 3 to age 9. And I love San Diego. I've visited there a few times. I still love it there. And I love the ocean and La Jolla. I wrote a song mentioning a lot of things about San Diego called Only Child. If you listen to that, look up Only Child by Goddess Kring, KringFlower record. It's got lyrics about San Diego. I went to San Diego to visit a guy that I was maybe going to date. It didn't work out. I don't want to talk about that, but it was brave of me to try, but it just didn't work out with this person in 2005. And we were at a convenience store and I saw a magazine that said Naked in Ashes, a documentary about the holy men of India. And I've always found those people fascinating. My mom raised me with Eastern philosophy, Advaita Vedanta, non-duality, and certain aspects of Hinduism and Upanishads and Krishnamurti and Ramana Maharshi and those kinds of things. And forget all the other names of the Indian people that are into consciousness and awareness and Eastern philosophy and a conscious awareness of what it is to be human on this planet. So, in present moment awareness and all that kind of stuff. So, when I saw an advertisement in a brochure, so we went to the convenience store because my friend needed to buy some. Um, he smoked and drank. I don't smoke cigarettes and I don't drink alcohol, but this person was really into smoking and drinking, and I was not. So, which is part of why I didn't work out with this person, but way more than that. But we were in there because he was buying I think, alcohol and cigarettes. And I was in there just tagging along, not buying anything. And so I looked at this magazine and it said Naked in Ashes playing at a theater in San Diego. And I remember thinking, God, I want to see that. I want to see that. And then my friend, I had this naturist friend that lived in San Diego, this female friend, and I was also visiting her in San Diego. And she said, "Hey, my husband and I want to go to this movie called Naked in Ashes about the Holy Man of India. Would you like to come?" And then I thought, wow, I was just reading about that. Yes, I do want to go. So we went. And when I was listening to the movie, there was some narrator's voice, this Indian accent narrator, guy from India. narrating part of the film. He wasn't in the film visually, but he was narrating his voice. And I remember thinking, I like that guy's voice. I like this voice. Maybe it sounded familiar to me, this voice. I wasn't sure why I just, it stood out to me and I liked it. And then my friend Ismail Bashi is an actor from India. He was in that film. So I got a third synchronicity connection to this movie in San Diego. My friend invited me to take a Greyhound bus and visit him in Los Angeles because he's a full-time actor. He's still the only full-time actor I've ever met. Actually, I met him because of synchronicity. Ismail Bashi is an actor that I met. He was channel surfing. He lives in Los Angeles. He is a lifetime actor. He was born in India and he got into acting when he was a little kid with a casting director approached him and his mom and said, "Hey, would your son like to be an actor?" And he started acting in India when he was a little kid, and he moved to the United States when he was an adult, or I don't know if he was 18 or 21 or something. He moved here as an adult to the United States, and he acts in. He's been on NYPD Blue, and he's not super famous. His name is Ismail Bashi. He's a very good actor, and he's from India, and I've seen his clips, but I met him in Seattle years before 2005. I don't remember what year that was, or 2003 maybe or something. He was at the Intiman Theater in Seattle in a play. I forgot the name of it. Oh, shoot. Tony Kirshner play, I think. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. But Ismail Bashi was channel surfing and he saw my Goddess Kring show and he's like, oh my gosh. And then he emailed me. He saw me on TV and he's like, I would love to meet you. You're so interesting. You're a local Seattle person. How interesting. Would you like to? Here's a free ticket to my play that I'm in at the Intiman Theater. So I ended up going to the play and watching him act in a play, which is really cool. I've taken acting classes and I went to Cornish for 2 weeks and then dropped out. I auditioned and got into their acting program and then I got scared and I dropped out. So I'm kind of sad about that. But so I have an interest in acting. I've taken 5 or 6 acting classes at Freehold Theater in Seattle and I work with medical students as a standardized patient, which means I am an actor and I have a script. So I actually have done some acting for real, and I've been an extra in the movie American Heart with Jeff Bridges, but that's a whole nother story. But Ismail Bashi met me because he was channel surfing. He saw me, he invited me. I went to the play. We went out to dinner. We were thinking that maybe we could date each other, but we never really, I think both he and I decided we weren't going to date, but we were just going to be friends. But it's a long story, but I went to dinner with him and I saw him in the play. And it was interesting because I had never met a full-time professional working actor before. And he told me how challenging it is that he has 3 agents and he does commercials, TV, film, and theater, all 4. And he has, I think, 3 different agents. And I don't know what he's doing now. I mean, he's still acting professionally. If you look him up, Ismail Bashi, um, Ismailbashey. I think that's how you spell his name. Ismail Bashi. He's a very nice person and he's a good actor. And now he's married and has kids. When I met him, he was still single, wanting to settle down. And so he has a wife. I think he's married to a classical, a lady who plays professionally in the Los Angeles Symphony. I don't know what it's called, but is it called the LA Symphony? But she's a professional classical musician and she plays in the symphony. It's pretty interesting. But I met Ismail Bashi because of that, and then I knew him. So he invited me in 2005 when I went to San Diego to visit this guy. So I went to the Naked and Ashes film because I saw the ad, and then my friend asked me if I'd like to go, and then I went, and then I liked the voice of one of the narrators, and then I found out, I said, "Hey, Ismail, you're from India. Have you heard of this movie, Naked and Ashes, about the Holy Man of India?" And he's like, "I'm in that movie. I'm one of the voices. They hired me to narrate part of the." So it was just so cool that I was in San Diego visiting one person, and then another friend wanted to go to that movie. And then my friend Ismail Bashi, I took a Greyhound and visited him in LA um, for one day that I was there. Because at that point, I didn't have a car. I didn't even have a driver's license then. Yeah, I didn't even get my driver's license until 2012 or something. So I had no driver's license. And so I couldn't even rent a car if I wanted to. I don't know if I could afford it at that point, but I was on a bit of a budget on that trip. So I took a Greyhound bus and So those are three stories of synchronicity. There's another one from 1991 where I went to uh I hitchhiked through Mexico with a guy from Australia who I met on a Greyhound bus when I was going to go visit my friend in Ashland, Oregon. And then I met him, and then that was an amazing experience. I don't know if that's as synchronistic as this other, but I had a fascination for Australia and opals. Actually, that's an interesting combination of most of the opals are mined in Mexico and Australia. And I went to Mexico with an Australian, so like that ties in opals. And then a few years after that, I went and visited Australia, and I went to Brisbane, Australia, to visit a different person, a different friend, but who invited me. A guy from India actually that was living in Australia, and he was an Indian chef. So sometimes these kind of things happen where your interests tie in together, where you have serendipity or synchronicity, and where I think that the universe, excuse me, is very flexible and malleable. And if you think about red cars, you'll see a lot of red cars. If you think about yellow cars, you'll notice more yellow cars. If you think about opportunities with art and music, theater, dance, pet sitting, art modeling, Goddess Kring public access TV. If I think about these things and I put it out into the universe and I go places and I notice, I suppose this happens to everybody. I mean, probably some of the synchronicity I'm talking about happens to everybody. Like you run into a friend of yours that you haven't seen in 20 years. And then because of that, you get offered a job because of, one thing connects to another, which connects to another, which connects to another. So you could say that this is just normal like patterns that I'm talking about, but not everybody notices. Like maybe some people's lives don't have as many patterns that connect like this, or maybe everybody's lives connect in this way, and not everybody is aware or conscious of it. So I just wanted to do a video about some of the interesting synchronicities that I've had in my life. The current one involving Nancy Guppy and Pete Droge and Gage Academy of Fine Art, and me as an art model, a music lover, and a public access TV show creator. And then the other synchronicity was involving San Diego, where I grew up, Ismail Bashi, the actor, the film Naked in Ashes, and my other naturist friends. So one, two, three, like four different people in San Diego that involved me seeing the movie Naked in Ashes and being inspired by it, which connects in with how my mom raised me with some Eastern philosophy, wisdom ideas. Not in a dogmatic way, though. My mom doesn't belong to any religion. She's just into the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta, non duality, Jnana yoga, things like that. Just she believes in being aware and conscious of the present moment. She also loves quantum physicists and quantum physics and likes exploring those ideas. So I was raised with that. So to see the movie Naked in Ashes about the holy men of India just felt like something I was very drawn to and inspired by. And then what is the third synchronicity that I mentioned about how I met Ismail Bashi? So there was the recent Pete Droge thing. There was the 2005 San Diego thing. And then what was the other one oh my God, I'm forgetting what I just said. I'm pretty spacey, aren't I? Well, whatever I said, I'm going to listen back to what I said and try to learn from it. I just feel like in the Tom Petty movie, Running Down a Dream, it's a 4-hour documentary about Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. He talks about all the synchronicity that led him to have some of the musical. I mean, he had to push really hard to get his music out there. And even on the radio, it took years for them to even get played on the radio. And most people would give up before then. But in the movie, he talks about different synchronistic things that happen. And I do feel like if you're open to coincidences, serendipity, synchronicity, it helps you manifest your dreams. It helps you if you're open to being at the right place at the right time, if you're open to meeting people that, like if you're thinking about the idea that you actually can manifest your dreams, you actually can do your art or your music or your theater or your dance, and you can meet people that will help you or meet people that have things in common with you, and you can bond with them and you can surf the waves and learn and grow and heal. I guess that's what drives me in life. So I just wanted to tell you about the synchronicities, those three different patterns. Oh, yeah, is the zoo one. Okay. The volunteering at the zoo, a love for music, a love for animals, art modeling, and a love for pet sitting, taking care of dogs and cats and different people's pets. So all those things can intersect, like my work as an artist and a public access person, with my art modeling, with my love for music, with being in Seattle in the art, music, art modeling. So pets, nature, art modeling, music, me as Goddess Kring from public access TV, all those different things. These are some of the positive surfing of waves that I'm acknowledging the patterns of life and thinking that it would be nice if I would slow down a little and focus on what do I really want and how can I manifest it. Because I think what you focus on does expand, especially in current times where people are arguing. A lot of people I feel like I have to fight for my right to be an individual human that has different opinions. And I like the idea of giving people the freedom and the space to have their own individual opinion, whether it's similar to mine or different than mine. That's what I'm thinking about today. So have a good day, everyone. Bye for now. It is November 10th, 2024. This is Shannon Kringen, Goddess Kring signing off. And if you would like a CD of our music, KringFlower, let me know and I can snail mail it to you as a gift. I think I've mailed about 15 now. I'd love to mail more. I have a way of creating copies and I handwrite notes to people. I handwrite letters to people who want my KringFlower Goddess Kring original music CD. It's my poetry turned into music. Happy to mail you a copy if you want, or you can stream it if you just for free. If you can look up KringFlower, Goddess Kring, produced by Supa Flower at Interactive Jack Records Seattle, or email me and I'll tell you. I'll put links down below this video. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Bye for now. I know I'll never be super duper popular because I'm kind of a fringe outsider, unusual person, but I'm just here sharing. I'm just going to share with whoever likes my stuff, and I'm just here to express myself as an individual. And I'm having a lot of fun doing music. I'm going to make another poetry book soon of song lyrics that I write. And have a good day. Please follow your bliss, as Joseph Campbell said. Bada boo, bada bing, stinging rings the kring, catch the windsong spiral drive, crack the code left and right node. I wander and I wander, tripping over moon haulers, key robbers, sand dollars, enchanted lands, enchanted hands, smoky lands. God, I forgot my own poem. Rough and cracked, take this sand and stand alone, all one. I present the present, desert the desert, exercise, bring exorcism, cleanse. And that's an older poem that I wrote. A recent line I wrote is it goes, the right to be wrong, the wrong to rewrite reality. Because people are arguing about what's true and what's false. And I feel like I want to stand up for my right. It's like you got to fight for your right to be an individual and fight for your right to have a different opinion that doesn't fit in a box. That's what I feel. Okay. Oxymorons through the door, a group for loners, and they all showed up. So there it is. Bye for now. Everyone is their own magical individual. Okay. I'm going to sign off now. Have a good day. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here with me.